Hello, my dears. It is February the 27th, 2019, and here goes with this month's questions. I've got, I've got four questions to answer today, but two of them I could sort of merge together. But here goes. Theo in New York. He says, "What is your favourite number and why?" Well, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to answer there, but what I do like, I like drawing the number 6 and the number 8. I can't explain why, but I do. And I prefer even numbers to odd numbers. And I definitely, wherever I'm living, want to live at an address that has an even number. Somebody tell me why that is important to me, because I have no idea. Emma Louise from Jacksonville. Hello, everybody coming from across the pond. Do you believe humans will destroy the planet? Difficult. I think they have the capability of doing it, what with the nuclear warheads we have and all the chemicals that we play with, and plus we mess around genetically changing stuff. There's a good chance that we will destroy the planet. I know there's all this talk about global warming, and I'm absolutely certain that we have some effect to it, but I also believe that the sun has its cycles, and there are other things going on with the warming of the planet. So to answer the question in a nutshell, yes, we have the capability, which is a bit worrying, in a sort of way. And then, right, now we got two questions which I think are sort of related. Danny in Dublin asks, when eating animals, why do we not say what we're eating? We rarely call, like, for example, we don't say we're going to eat some cow, do we? And we don't say we're going to eat some pig. I think that's what they mean there. So, for example, we say beef and pork. Okay, keep that in mind. And then the question from Jojo in Bonn, which I believe is Germany. Why are there so many words in English meaning the same thing? Well, there you go. I think the only thing I can answer on these is it's all to do with the roots of our language. Because although we call ourselves English or British, our language is made up of all sorts of other languages. And, I mean, there are many in this country who don't realise that for 300 years the official language was French. There you go, that's turned somebody else's head upside down. But so for example, I think that's where it comes with food. We don't say we're going to have some cow. We don't have cow and chips. We have steak and chips, or we have pork. Now let me think. The French for cow is bœuf, I think, and the French for pig is pork, but spelt, or is it porc? So this is where we get porcine from, P-O-R-C. The only meat I eat that I know that what I'm eating is lamb. But of course you can eat some sheep, and that's we call mutton, which comes from mouton, which is the French for sheep. So likewise, then to go to Jojo, so many words to mean the same thing. I know exactly what you mean, and this is why I respect anyone outside of Britain being able to Learn English. I tip my hat to you, because you're quite right. There are many words meaning the same thing. So, there's the word wet, for example. Now, as well as being damp, wet in the English language can also mean that you are feeble, you're weak. Margaret Thatcher called a lot of her cabinet wets because they weren't hard lined. But of course, wet, you've got other words. There's damp, there's soaking, and there's moist, of course. It all depends on what level of wetness you are. So we have many, many words that mean many levels of what you're trying to say. And I think that's what makes the English language so beautiful. And of course, we have words made up by our dear friend, the Bard. I mean, 600 words he made up. How on earth did anybody in his time understand what he was talking about? All right, so what this highlights, and what all your questions really highlight, is that we're a community and we share the same languages to a certain extent, particularly roots, and taking in the industry I work in, the word television, for example, is half Greek and half Latin. I think the Greek is tele, meaning far away, so you have telescope, for example, to see far away, and the Latin is, I think it's visio, which is where we get vision from, and visio means sight or seeing. So a television is seeing from far away. And of course, the studios that the television shows come from are far away. I hope that answers your questions for this February. I tried to avoid the B word, but I'm now going to get my parachute to see if I will need it on the 29th of March. Until then, goodbye.